You know that moment when you're talking to someone and suddenly their energy shifts? Like they're still there, but they're not really there anymore. You felt it happen, but you couldn't quite pinpoint when or why. Here's what actually happened. You triggered something in her brain that made her emotional circuits switch from approach to avoidance. And most of the time, it wasn't what you said, it was what you wore. I'm not talking about your clothes being ugly or expensive. I'm talking about the psychological signals your clothing choices send before you even open your mouth. See, attraction isn't just visual, it's neurological. And certain things you wear activate specific patterns in her brain that make her pull away even when she likes you. The thing is, we don't pull away because you're boring or because we're shallow. We pull away because certain behaviors and choices hit emotional circuits that evolved to protect us. Today, I'm going to decode exactly what those triggers are, backed by real psychology, so you can stop accidentally sabotaging connections before they even start. Number 1. The Try Hard Luxury logo. When you wear something covered in obvious designer logos, you think you're signaling success. But here's what actually happens in her brain. The dopamine system that responds to authentic attraction gets hijacked by her social evaluation circuits instead. She starts analyzing your net worth rather than feeling drawn to you. Neuroscience shows that when someone's focused on external validation cues, it activates the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, instead of the limbic system where attraction lives. You've literally moved yourself out of the romantic zone and into the business networking zone. The fix isn't to dress cheap. It's to choose quality pieces that speak quietly. Let her discover your taste gradually instead of announcing it with a billboard across your chest. Number 2. The Emotional Armor Hoodie. Hoodies aren't inherently unattractive, but when you wear one as emotional armor, to hide, to avoid eye contact, to create a barrier, she feels it. Women are wired to pick up on attachment cues and emotional unavailability registers as a threat to connection. The uncertainty principle in attraction says that some mystery is magnetic, but emotional walls are repelling. There's a difference between being intriguingly complex and being defensively closed off. Your hoodie becomes a literal and metaphorical hood that says, "Don't get too close." If you love hoodies, wear them when you're genuinely comfortable and open, not when you're trying to disappear. The same piece of clothing can either invite intimacy or block it, depending on the energy you bring to it. Number 3. The Cologne Cloud. Over-application of cologne triggers what researchers call sensory overwhelm. When someone's olfactory system is flooded, it activates stress responses instead of attraction responses. You're not creating allure, you're creating anxiety. Here's the thing about scent and attraction. It works through subtle biological recognition, not through sheer intensity. Pheromones and natural chemistry happen at a whisper level, not a shout level. When you douse yourself in fragrance, you're drowning out the very signals that create genuine chemical attraction. The rule is simple. If someone can smell you before they see you, it's too much. Scent should be discovered, not announced. Number 4. The Insecurity Uniform. This is any outfit you wear specifically because you think it makes you look safe or unthreatening. The problem is that safety and attraction operate on different neural pathways. When you dress to minimize risk, you also minimize reward. Attachment theory tells us that women are drawn to confident vulnerability, someone who's strong enough to be authentic. But when your clothes scream, "Please don't reject me," you're triggering her protective instincts instead of her romantic ones. She wants to mother you, not mate with you. Authentic confidence isn't about wearing the most aggressive or masculine clothes. It's about wearing what feels genuinely like you, without apology or explanation. Number 5. The Peacocking Outfit. Peacocking is when you wear something deliberately outrageous to get attention. And yes, it works, but it works by activating novelty-seeking circuits, not attraction circuits. She notices you the same way she'd notice a car accident, with curiosity, not desire. The psychology here is fascinating. Novelty creates dopamine spikes, but sustainable attraction requires oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Peacocking gets you dopamine attention, but it actually blocks oxytocin connection because it signals that you're performing rather than being. You want her to remember you because of how you made her feel, not because of what spectacle you created. True magnetism is about presence, not presentation. But here's where it gets interesting. The next 5 insights challenge everything normal dating advice taught you about attraction and clothing choices. Number 6. The people-pleasing polo. You know that perfectly pressed polo shirt you wear because it's appropriate for every situation? That's not confidence, that's camouflage. When you dress to blend in perfectly, you're signaling that you need external approval to feel valid. The neuroscience of attraction shows that women are drawn to men who demonstrate secure attachment, people who can be themselves regardless of social context. But when your clothes are chosen entirely by committee, society's committee, it suggests you don't have a strong internal compass. This doesn't mean be inappropriate or rebellious. It means choose clothes that reflect your actual preferences, not just what you think will offend the fewest people. Authenticity is attractive. Invisible conformity is not. Number 7. The gym advertisement t-shirt. Wearing workout clothes when you're not working out sends a strange psychological message. It says you want credit for something you're not currently doing. And more importantly, it suggests you think your body is your primary value proposition. Research on relationship formation shows that while physical attraction matters, it's not the foundation of lasting chemistry. When you advertise your physicality constantly, you're activating short-term mating circuits instead of long-term bonding circuits. She's evaluating your body, not feeling connected to your mind. The solution isn't to hide your fitness. It's to let her discover your physical attributes naturally, in context, rather than making them the headline of every interaction. Number 8. The nostalgic costume. This is when you wear something from a past era, vintage band tees, retro sneakers, throwback jerseys, not because you love them, but because you're trying to signal that you're cool or cultured. The problem is that borrowed coolness reads as identity insecurity. Women have finely tuned authenticity detectors. When you're wearing someone else's decade, someone else's interests, someone else's aesthetic, it suggests you're not comfortable with your own. You're trying to inherit an identity instead of creating one. If you genuinely love vintage styles, wear them. But if you're costume playing to seem more interesting, she'll sense the performance. Real magnetism comes from being genuinely excited about your own choices, not from wearing what you think makes you seem sophisticated.
Number 9.
The availability announcement. I know someone who always wore his nicest clothes on first dates, fresh pressed shirts, perfect shoes, clearly expensive accessories. He thought he was showing respect and effort. But what he was actually doing was announcing how available he was, how much mental energy he was spending on impressing her. Here's what happened. She felt the weight of his investment before she decided if she wanted to invest back. It created pressure instead of attraction. The psychological principle at play is called reciprocity anxiety. When someone gives too much too early, it makes the other person feel obligated rather than excited. After we talked about it, he started dressing well but casually for early dates, nice jeans, a shirt he actually liked, shoes that were clean but not screaming, "I bought these for you." Her energy shifted immediately. She felt free to be curious about him instead of feeling responsible for his effort. Number 10. The emotional thermostat. My friend Sarah told me about a guy she was seeing who had this habit of changing his entire style based on her mood. If she seemed stressed, he'd wear more formal clothes to appear stable. If she seemed fun, he'd dress more casually to seem laid back. He thought he was being attentive, but he was actually being exhausting. What she realized was that he was using his clothes as an emotional thermostat, constantly adjusting to regulate her feelings. This activated her caretaking instincts instead of her attraction instincts. She felt like she had to manage his identity along with her own emotions. The breakthrough came when she told him directly, "I don't need you to dress for my moods. I need you to dress like yourself." When he started wearing clothes that reflected his actual preferences consistently, she felt safer to be herself around him. Authentic consistency is more attractive than perfect adaptability. Here's what all of these clothing choices have in common. They're about performance instead of presence. They're attempts to control her perception instead of authentic expressions of who you are. And women can feel the difference. Dating isn't about what you wear. It's about the presence you bring to every interaction. When your clothes are chosen from a place of genuine self-expression, they become an extension of your authentic confidence. When they're chosen from a place of strategy or insecurity, they become barriers to real connection. The most attractive thing you can wear is comfort with yourself. Not arrogance, not indifference, but genuine ease with who you are and what you like. That energy is magnetic because it's rare. In a world full of people performing, authenticity stands out like a beacon. You're already enough. These insights aren't about changing who you are. They're about showing your intelligence by understanding how attraction actually works. The goal isn't to manipulate her responses. It's to stop accidentally sabotaging the connections you actually want. So tomorrow, when you're getting dressed, ask yourself, am I choosing this because I love it or because I think it will get me something? The answer will tell you everything you need to know. And trust me, she'll feel the difference before you even say hello. If you found the video